In this video, we're going to be reviewing how to use the area model for multiplication to solve multiplication problems. So just as a reminder, the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So for this question, we're about to solve 74 times 8. 74 and 8 are the factors of the problem, and their answer will be the product. When using the area model to solve, we're expanding this number. We're writing this number in expanded form so that we can solve a little bit easier when we multiply using mental math. So I'm going to rewrite this problem. 74 times 8. The first thing I'm going to do is expand both of those numbers. So right below them, I'm going to write them in expanded form. So 74, I have 7 tens, so the value of my 7 is 70. Plus, there's always that plus sign when we write numbers in expanded form. 4 ones, so the value of the 4 is just 4. So I have 70 plus 4 equals 74 times 8. To write 8 in expanded form, it's just 8 because it's 8 ones. So 74 times 8. Now to figure out how many boxes I need to solve this problem using the area model, I need to find the area of the box. All I do is count the digits I have, the numbers I have when this first factor, 74, is written in expanded form. So I have 1, 2, and I multiply that by the amount of numbers I have here. So I have one number here. 2 times 1 equals 2. So that means my area model just needs 2 boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. Make your boxes a decent size so you have enough room to write in them. You don't want them teeny tiny. So now I have 2 boxes. The way you label this is you take this first set that's in parentheses at the top, so the expanded form of 74. 70 is going to go right here on the top of that first box. 4 is going to go on the top of the second box because there's a plus sign in the middle. 70 plus 4 equals 74. So 74 across the top. And my 8 is going to be on the side right here. Because with this box, you're multiplying the number on the left on the side with the numbers on the top. So you're thinking this way. So in that first box, you're solving for 8 times 70. So I'm going to write that at the top. 8 times 70. To solve for 8 times 70, remember we learned that anytime you have one digit followed by a bunch of zeros, you can use mental math. So I'm going to multiply 8 times 7. 8 times 7 is 56. And since there's 1 0 in this problem, I need to pull that 0 down. If 8 times 7 is 56, 8 times 70 is 560. Now for my next box, I'm still using my 8 because that's on the side. And now I'm doing 8 times 4. So I'm going to write that at the top of my box. 8 times 4. And 8 times 4 equals 32. Now my last step is to add these products together. So I have 560 plus 32. 0 plus 2 is 2. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 5 plus 0 is 5. So your product of 74 times 8 equals 592. Now we're going to try a 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication problem. All right, so this problem is 63 times 45. Now remember, the first thing you want to do is write this number in expanded form. So I need to break up the 63 and the 45. So 63 written in expanded form is 60 plus 3, because I have 6 in the tens place, so I have 6 tens, which equals 60, and I have a 3 in the ones place, so 3 equals 3. So 60 plus 3 times 40 plus 5, because I have a 4 in the tens place, so 4 tens equals 40, and a 5 in the ones place, so 5 ones equals 5. Now to figure out how many boxes I need, I count how many numbers I have inside of each of the sets of parentheses. So 1, 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. So that means I need 4 boxes to solve this problem using the area model. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my boxes. Remember, draw them big enough so you can write in them. And now I can label. I'm going to do 63 across the top. So remember, I'm going to write both parts on top of either box. So 60 plus my 3. And then on the left side, that's where I'm going to write 45. 40 plus 5. So 40 is on the side for the first box, and 5 is down here at the bottom, on the bottom left for that box. All right, now we can write our equations that we're going to solve. Remember, you're multiplying what's on that left times the top. So in that first box, I'm doing 40 times 60. If it helps, just like when you use a multiplication chart, you can use your fingers and line up the numbers that go with the boxes. So for that first box, I'm doing 40 times 60. For the second box on the top, I'm doing 40 times 3. Now down at the bottom, on the bottom left, you're doing 5 times 60. And on the bottom right, you're doing 5 times 3. Now that I have all 4 boxes set up, I can go ahead and solve. Remember, since we have 1 digit followed by zeros, we can use mental math to solve. You multiply the first 2 digits, and then you put the zeros at the back of the number. So for this first box, I can do 4 times 6. 4 times 6 equals 24. And then I have 2 zeros, 1, 2. So I add both of those to the back of that number. So 4 times 6 equals 24, but 40 times 60 equals 2,400. Now on the right, I can do this the same way. Since 40 is just 1 digit followed by a 0, I would say 4 times 3 equals 12. Then I add that 1 0. So 4 times 3 equals 12. 40 times 3 equals 120. Now down at the bottom, 5 times 6 equals 30. But don't forget about that 0 you have to add. So 5 times 6 equals 30, but 5 times 60 equals 300. And then my last box is just 5 times 3, which is 15. Now your final step is to add all these numbers together If it's easier for you, you can add them 2 at a time and then add both of those sums together. Or you can just line them all up from greatest to least. So I have 2,400 plus 300. Always make sure you're lined up correctly. Plus 120 plus 15. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5 equals 5. 0 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 equals 3. 4 plus 3 plus 1 equals 8. And then 2 plus 0 equals 2. So the product of 63 and 45 equals 2,835.